Welcome. Today, we will focus on a historical period of the Spanish Empire, the discovery of the New World, and the effects it created. Let's take a look together at this exciting adventure that began with the discovery of America in 1492, financed by Queen Isabella of Spain. This famous journey was a groundbreaking first step beyond the known limits of Europe. On October 12, 1492, Columbus reached the Caribbean, opening a door to an unprecedented era in history. However, this discovery was not only a geographical success, it also meant the encounter of the Spanish Empire with America. This encounter with the New World offered new opportunities for the expansion and wealth-seeking endeavors of the Spanish Empire. Columbus's discovery, combined with subsequent explorations, laid the foundations for Spanish sovereignty in the Americas. This period, shaped by the leadership of Spanish conquerors, was also the beginning of the first contact between the Spanish Empire and the indigenous cultures of America. The encounter of the Spanish Empire with America not only defined that era, but also opened the doors to a period that would influence world history. These explorations, accompanied by intercultural interactions, economic changes, and geographical expansion, transformed history. Thus, the discovery of America in 1492 and the encounter of the Spanish Empire with this new world heralded an unforgettable beginning on the stage of history. The year 1492 is remembered as the era when the navigator Christopher Columbus crossed the Atlantic Ocean and discovered the American continent. This discovery marked both the beginning of geographical explorations and a new phase in intercultural interactions. Hernán Cortés and Francisco Pizarro, bold and determined leaders who played significant roles in the expansion process of the Spanish Empire in the New World. Hernán Cortés, during his exploratory expedition to the Yucatan Peninsula in 1519, encountered the Aztec Empire. On the other hand, Francisco Pizarro achieved a similar success against the Inca Empire in the Andes region of South America in present-day Peru. In the Battle of Cajamarca in 1532, Pizarro captured the Inca ruler Atahualpa, conquering the Inca Empire and establishing Spanish dominance in this region. The conquests led by these conquerors were significant milestones in the expansion of the Spanish Empire in the Americas. However, these conquests also resulted in significant losses among indigenous populations, cultural changes, and complexities in the colonization process. The impact of Spanish conquerors left a lasting mark on the history of the American continent. This encounter led to a series of military conflicts and diplomatic struggles under the leadership of the Spanish conqueror. Eventually, in 1521, Cortés captured the Aztec capital, Tenochtitlan, establishing Spanish dominance. The influx of gold and silver from the New World significantly enriched the Spanish Empire during the Age of Exploration. This influx of wealth played a crucial role in fueling the Spanish economy, financing military campaigns, and supporting the lavish lifestyles of the Spanish royalty and aristocracy. The flow of precious metals also had broader economic implications for Europe. The influx of gold and silver led to inflation as the increased money supply outpaced the growth of goods and services. Additionally, the Spanish crown's reliance on bullion as the primary source of wealth hindered the development of more diverse and sustainable economic practices. The impact of the New World's gold and silver on the Spanish Empire and the broader European economy underscores the intricate connections forged during the Age of Exploration and the lasting consequences of these interactions on the course of history. The discovery of vast reserves of these precious metals in the Americas, particularly in regions like Mexico and Peru, became a turning point in the economic fortunes of the Spanish crown. The massive quantities of gold and silver extracted from mines in the New World were shipped across the Atlantic to Spain. The interaction between European and New World cultures resulting from Spanish colonization brought forth a complex exchange of ideas, customs, and traditions. One of the significant aspects of this interaction was the exchange of crops, animals, and technologies between the Old World and the New World. European crops like wheat, grapes, and sugarcane were introduced to the Americas, while indigenous crops such as maize, potatoes, and tomatoes made their way to Europe. This exchange had a transformative impact on agriculture, diets, and culinary traditions on both continents. In addition to the exchange of agricultural products, there was a mingling of languages, religions, and social practices. European languages, primarily Spanish, were introduced to the Americas, influencing local languages and creating new forms of communication. Similarly, the introduction of Christianity had a profound impact on the religious beliefs and practices of the indigenous peoples. The cultural interaction also manifested in the arts, with European artistic styles influencing indigenous artistic expressions and vice versa. This blending of cultural elements created a rich tapestry of traditions that shaped the identity of the societies emerging from this encounter. In summary, the cultural interaction resulting from Spanish colonization led to a dynamic exchange of ideas and practices between Europe and the New World, contributing to the complex cultural landscape that we observe today. This cultural interchange, often referred to as the Columbian Exchange, had profound and lasting effects on both sides of the Atlantic. The establishment of Spanish colonies led to profound social changes through interactions between European settlers and the indigenous population. In Spanish colonies, the forced labor of the declining native population and the initiation of the Atlantic slave trade to meet labor demands further complicated the social structure. A multi-layered society emerged, comprising European upper class, mixed-race populations, and indigenous people. In conclusion, the establishment of Spanish colonies brought about significant social changes, including demographic shifts, the imposition of hierarchical structures, and interactions involving forced labor of indigenous and African slaves. Contact with the New World resulted in demographic shifts. Due to the spread of new diseases and the decline of the native population, this, in turn, influenced social hierarchies, giving rise to a privilege system enforced through discriminatory laws and practices. The Spanish colonies in Latin America faced a period of upheaval, as the 18th and 19th centuries witnessed movements for independence. The colonists, inspired by Enlightenment ideas and fueled by grievances against Spanish rule, initiated a series of revolutions. These independence movements were marked by iconic leaders such as Simon Bolivar, José de San Martin, and Miguel Hidalgo. The struggle for freedom encompassed diverse regions and cultures, leading to the eventual liberation of countries like Mexico, Peru, and various others. The independence process was complex, involving military conflicts, diplomatic efforts, and socio-political transformations. The outcome was the birth of several sovereign nations in Latin America, each with its unique history and identity. In essence, the quest for independence in the Spanish colonies marked a transformative chapter in Latin American history, shaping the region's nations and societies as we know them today. The Spanish Empire's imprint on the New World has left a lasting legacy, shaping the course of history, culture, and economics. Spanish colonization contributed to the emergence of unique traditions, languages, and cuisines in Latin America. The extraction of resources, particularly gold and silver, fueled the global economy. Despite challenges, the introduction of Christianity, architecture, and governance structures has enduring effects. Today, Latin American societies bear the complex marks of this historical period, showcasing a rich blend of European and indigenous influences.